So I was recently approached by a double glazing firm based in Berkshire, and they were looking for a new website and additional SEO. And what they wanted to do is basically get more inquiries for their service area, which again is around the Berkshire area. I thought it might be useful just to do a quick video and just kind of go through how I'd approach the keyword research for a company in their position. So as we've got Berkshire around here, so this is roughly their service area. Obviously, we've got some smaller towns and some obviously main cities. So if we head over to Google Keyword Tool, we can kind of see how this looks like from a data perspective. So what I've done, I've entered a few areas within their service area and got the data for that. In reality, when I was to do this properly, I'd do a lot more areas. I'd be kind of combing through all the little towns, even some of the villages, all the cities, everywhere within the area, and as well as potentially some additional services outside of standard double glazing, depending on what they offer. But this is what we've got so far. So we've got 5 areas, some with more traffic, some with less. And I just want to talk through this a little bit. So the idea here is obviously to get them inquiries within, the area. That's the end goal for the client. And the way to do this is to find all these places within that service area, all these towns and cities and villages that actually get traffic, where people are going onto Google every month and they're searching for, double glazing. So here's a few examples. So obviously Berkshire, that's going to be, the entirety of the county. But we've also got, Reading, which is, the main city there. That's obviously getting the most traffic. So you've got 320 people every month searching for double glazing in Reading. And just as a quick note, here on the right, we've got a few figures here. So if you were to do Google Ads rather than SEO, this is the range of what you'd be paying roughly for a click. So between £3.77 to £25.14. And the advantage of Google Ads is obviously you get immediate traffic to your site. But the disadvantage is you're paying for every click. And obviously, the inverse of that with SEO is that you're not paying for any clicks, but it can take longer. Now, my SEO strategy and a lot of others is that I'd take a keyword such as this and I'd be creating a specific page, and that page, what that page's function is going to be, is essentially to rank for this keyword and other semantically related keywords, but essentially double glazing and Berkshire, or I think this would be a better example, double glazing and Reading. And so every time someone searches on Google for this keyword or for a keyword that Google deems to be closely enough related, we want the page that we've created for that company to basically pop up high enough in the Google search results that people will see it. People don't really go beyond the first page, so we want it to pop up nice and high in the search results. And then in that way, we've got a good chance that they might end up clicking our result. And if they click our result, they go onto our, landing page that we've made specifically for this keyword. And then once they're on that page, that page's job is then to essentially provide them with enough information, enough prompts, basically, reassure them in enough that that user then feels comfortable going on and actually making a full-on inquiry with a business, whether that be a phone call, an email, a text, filling out a contact form, whatever the preferred method of inquiry will be. That's what we want to drive that user to do. And again, it's going to be one page for each of these. So although they're going to do a similar job, they're going to be, unique for these areas. So Slough, Thatcham, Bracknell, Reading, Berkshire. And like I mentioned previously, this is just a small selection. In reality, if I was going to do this properly, I'd comb through and find, dozens and dozens of these opportunities, because each opportunity is going to be worth it. For example, you can note here that Reading has 320 searches a month and Thatcham only has 10. And there's not even enough data here for how much it would cost to run this as a Google ad rather than SEO. However, I would say yes, it is worth targeting this because although there's only 10 searches per month, you can bet that the competition for getting one of these top spots on the first page of Google is not going to be that great, the competition. So if we set things up properly with a good page and coming from a good website that has good SEO principles, technical SEO principles, and the on-page SEO for this page that we've created is set up in such a way that it adheres to Google's ranking factors, we're going to be with a really good shout of getting high up on the first page for this keyword. And although it's only 10 searches a month, if we get three clicks from these 10 searches, bearing in mind, not everyone that searches, not all 10 people are going to actually click through to a website, but the majority will. And so if we can get a fraction of that, so let's say three a month, 3 clicks a month, then that's going to be, 16 searches a year, or 16 clicks a year rather, to our landing page. And that's not a whole lot, but if from those 16, even one leads to an inquiry, then it's worth it, because although you've got these big areas here which have a much higher volume, you don't want to discount these because there could be dozens of smaller towns and villages like this, which once you add them all up, this one may only get 1 inquiry per year, but if you've got 12, and that's going to be an inquiry per month of just these small areas, and it could well be more than that. We might get one which gets 5 or 6 clicks per month and maybe 2 inquiries, and that's just from one small area. You can never be 100% sure how the Google algorithm is going to treat your pages, but the more opportunities we take, the greater the clicks we're going to receive, and then the greater, from the amount of clicks, the greater the opportunities, the greater the chances we're going to get inquiries. So the more chances you take, the more inquiries you're going to get. And whether that's for yourself or for a client, it makes it worthwhile. I mean, by all means, this is the real meat here. So some of these are going to be the ones where you want to spend more time, really trying to get this SEO optimized, doing a greater job of optimizing the SEO, optimizing the backlink profiles, this kind of thing. These can be some really quick, easy wins, and these can add up, and these can make it, significant in terms of ROI. And just to reiterate yet again, this is only 5 searches here. In reality, there could be up to 50 keywords that, from doing enough research and analysis, I could deem that, right, there's 50 pages we want to set up over the course of an SEO campaign, whether that be 6 months or 12 months. Set all these up, get them all ranking, go after as many of these opportunities as possible, because they're all highly relevant for the client. Not only are they obviously within the service area, but obviously they're directly related to the client's main service. So just a little bit of information there. And I hope that helped, and thank you for watching.